Tell us what happened during the 4th anniversary of the NSAS protests that led to the threats that you're currently facing.
On 20th October 2024, we went for NSAS Memorial at Lekki. So from Lekki Phase 1, we started the procession. We were marching towards Lekki toll gates with our placards and our banners, and we were chanting solidarity songs. Our aim was to get there, drop flowers, read our speeches, and make demands. And one of our major demands was that we wanted that Lekki toll gate to be named after the fallen heroes of the NSAS struggle. So we wanted it to be named NSAS bus stop. So we started the procession and we were marching towards the Lekki toll gate when we were accosted by some police officers, and they were telling us to go back. So we were trying to explain to them that we only wanted to just have our NSAS memorial and nothing more. So they insisted that we should go back. So myself and one of our comrades, Remite by name, were explaining to them, telling them that we are friends and not enemies. So Comrade Remite was explaining to them that at least in most of our struggles, we've always fought for the welfare of police officers by increment of their salaries. And all these seem to fall on deaf ears. They launched an attack at us. They shot into the air. Later, they started shooting canisters of tear gas. And as we were feeling this kind of peppery sensation, so everybody took to our heels. We scampered for safety. And they gave us a very hot chase. They were chasing us. They were coming behind us. So we continued to take to our heels. And they were still shooting at us, both canisters and bullets. So majorly, they were targeting our legs and shooting at us. So on our way running off, I discovered that something hit my leg. So, and the sensation was so strong. So I felt it was a bullet at first. So I called the comrade running in front of me that I've been shot. So he slowed down his pace of running and assisted me. And we were both, running with one of my legs, and he was assisting me by putting my hand on his shoulder.
So you were actually limping?
Yes, I was actually limping. So as we were running off, so I noticed that another canister was shot again at my leg, my upper leg. Then another canister was shot at us again in front, another canister of tear gas. So it was at that time the flames from the canister went straight into my nostrils and my eyes. So at that time, I had respiratory distress. So I called for help, and even though I was struggling to breathe, I was telling them how to assist me and what to do. So when we got to a certain area, we saw one mechanic workshop. It was at that time the comrade asked me to rest. So I sat down there. I was resting, trying to get myself properly because I was not even totally aware of my environment. So when I was becoming aware of my environment, getting my breath to an extent, that was when those mechanics were discussing, telling us that we came on a dangerous adventure because they started recounting what happened in 2020, telling us that some protesters were actually shot at, and when they lost their lives, allegedly, they were dumped in the lagoon for fishes and other aquatic animals to feed upon. So that was when I made a video out of pain, expressing my pain and at the same time saying all sorts. That was my response to pain.
So it was at that point in time you actually started, you went live on Facebook.
Yes, I went live on Facebook. So as we were going, we were proceeding, we saw police van. So they started chasing us again from the end of the streets. So as we were moving towards the beginning of the street, we saw an armored vehicle, police vehicle coming again. So at that point, I just stood at one spot, raised my hand and went on my knees, so as to show them that, okay, if you want to arrest me, go ahead, but do not harm me, as I was not trying to evade arrest. So I was still surprised that despite giving them a sign that you could actually go on to arrest me, they still went on to brutalize me. 3 policemen, men, on only me, they beat me to stupor, and they were slapping me, kicking me, you know. They hit me 3 times with the bottom of the gun on my leg. And one of them was telling me that instead of you to be at home cooking, you are here on the streets doing nonsense. We are going to teach you a lesson. So they started dragging me on the floor. So they told me to move into the back of their van. So I climbed up and I was telling them that at least have respect, have some level of respect for my gender. I'm a female. You can't be treating me this way. I'm not a criminal. As I was talking, they were slapping me. I counted the number of slaps. It was 5. So they drove us down to Lekki toll gate. It was then we noticed that they've been beating Comrade Remite and he has actually been stripped naked. So at that time, he had been taken into the Black Maria. So we were asked to alight, myself and other TIB comrades, because we were the ones that started the procession. So we were asked to alight from their vehicle. We alighted from their vehicle, and they showed us the way to the Black Maria, and we mounted the Black Maria. As at that time, they've collected phones from other comrades, their money, their valuables. So mine too, they asked me where was my phone. As at that time, I kept my phone. So they couldn't collect my phone from me. They collected my purse, my Oraimo earpod, and other things I had on with me. So they collected my slippers too. And till date, they didn't give me the slippers. So we mounted into the Black Maria, and from there, I started telling them that I have all my valuables in that purse. And what matters most to me is my license and my ID card. So at that point, they didn't say anything. So later, we discovered that after 20 minutes, other comrades too were arrested, the likes of comrades Soweto and others. But first, it was 6 of us, TIB comrades. So those ones too came to join us, and later we were taken to Panti. And our other female comrades that joined, what surprised me the most was that they were separated, because the vehicle that brought the other comrades, the Soweto group comrades, was a coaster bus. So the driver was arrested too and taken into the Black Maria. The other female comrades were taken into the coaster bus. I was the only female comrade that was taken into the Black Maria among other numerous male comrades. So they purposely treated me like a male, and they told me they were going to teach me a lesson, because I could remember on our way going to Lekki toll gate, one of the police officers was showing me his phone. They were watching our procession on Sahara Facebook page, and he was saying, "Is this not you? I have been monitoring you. We are going to deal with you ruthlessly."
All right. You've stated that the police and the Department of State Services have been threatening you. Can you
Yes.
elaborate on the nature of these threats and how they've been communicating with you?
Okay. On Sunday, 27th October, my coordinator, the TIB coordinator for Lagos State, Scotty Aluta, called me and said Benjamin Undeyin requested for my contact from him, that he wants to ask for my consent in order to send the contact to Benjamin. And I said, okay, no problem. I have confidence in the movement
That's
since
Benjamin, that's the
the
PPRO
PPRO of
for
Lagos
Lagos
State.
State
Yes. So
Police Command.
I said, no problem, you can go ahead. I have confidence in the movement, and since you are my leader, you can go ahead. So he gave the contact to Benjamin. Benjamin called me. So he greeted me on phone, and I said, okay, I responded. He told me that his boss needed my contact, and I said, okay.
Which of his bosses is that?
So it was later he paused during the phone conversation. Then he told me, it's not the CPO. And I said, it's who? He said, it's Muiwa Adejobi, his boss. I said, what will Muiwa be needing my number for? He told me Muiwa saw my video on Facebook, and probably he wants to check on me and ask how is my health. And I said, if that's the case, no problem, you can go ahead. And he said, okay, no problem, he's going to give the contact to Muiwa. So I didn't hear anything until Thursday. Somebody called me claiming to be a police officer from the IRT, and he said I should start coming to Ogbomosho, that a petition was written against me. I told him, first, I am not a resident of Ogbomosho. And I asked what was the petition about. He said he couldn't give me details. I said, well, I am not a resident of Ogbomosho, and I can't travel all the way down to Ogbomosho, traveling 6 hours, because you claimed somebody wrote a petition against me. So he told me that I can tell him where I was, so he can come there. And I was beginning to be suspicious that, what is all this about? You can't give me a formal invitation. You are requesting for my location. This is suspicious. So one of our comrades reached out to the force headquarters, and they said truly the name that was mentioned is one of their officers serving in Abuja under IRT. And the comrade went further by asking that, okay, why was the police officer asking one of our comrades to come to Ogbomosho? And they claimed that maybe he doesn't know what he was saying. Maybe the officer doesn't know what he was saying.
So, in your opinion, why do you think you are being specifically targeted by the authorities? Could it be related to the video you posted or other incidents that you have been involved in?
Yes, I'm thinking about two incidences now. The video and one other incident that occurred last year. One House of Rep member who assaulted me last year. So when he was, after assaulting me, it was all over the news. So his aides and his followers started threatening me when I traveled to Ogun State. So I had to write a petition to the state command. But because of Muiwa's interference and influence, the case was not allowed to see the light of the day, as the IPO claimed that that House of Rep member has immunity and could not be invited. So recently the video resurfaced, and it was then I knew that probably I might have a problem with Muiwa again, because it was based on his influence. The matter was not allowed to see the light of the day.
Now, tell us, how has this situation affected your personal life and your sense of security?
Okay, it has affected me Mostly my family and friends and co-workers too, because it has affected us physically and psychologically. Right now, my mom is unaware of what is happening, but my siblings, they've been so worried about my safety. And I myself am presently at a discreet location, and my place of work, my manager though knows the kind of person I am and is a nice person, but when he read about my Facebook friend who was arrested just to get at me, he was saying, hope we are safe here. And I was trying to explain that, don't worry, you are safe. We are just co-workers, and I don't think they should be able to come for you or something. So it has affected me.
So, have you taken any precautions to protect yourself, given the threats you've received?
Um, I just said, I can't say I'm hiding. I'm at a discreet location, and I had to take off some precautions. I had to take some precautions, such as my Facebook accounts, laying it low for now, so that my Facebook friends will not be targeted. I mean, those who are really close to me. Because I myself, I'm not afraid of Muiwa. I'm not afraid of him, and I'm not running from him. But he has displayed high level of abuse of power, gross abuse of power. And let me say power intoxication. That's the word. Because if he believes I did something wrong, I believe there are ways to handle it, or there are ways he could actually send invitation to me, not trying to abduct me or abduct people who are close to me just to get at me. And the height of it was arresting the mother of that my Facebook friend just to get at him.
All right. You mentioned that the police and the DSS have not been clear about the reasons for the actions against you. Do you feel that the government is taking your concerns seriously?
Oh, we all know the government of Nigeria now. I know the government is not taking this seriously, because even the security agencies that are supposed to be responsible for security of lives and properties, they are the ones trying to abduct now. So who do we run to?
Do you think this is part of a broader trend of suppression of activism and dissent in Nigeria?
Of course, the APC government have always gone after activists in an attempt to suppress them while neglecting the hardened criminals. And this is exactly what is happening.
What would you like to say to Nigerians who are watching this interview and may be afraid to speak out due to similar threats or fears of retaliation?
Okay. One thing I will stress on is the fact that they should remain resolute, and they should remain fearless